Hello ladies and gentlemen, Grim here, and today we are going to do a character review on Atlantis Aquaman. And this will be my first character review ever, and I have previously made a video where I have the metrics for the character reviews and I explain the criteria upon which I'm going to review the characters. So a link to that will be in the description if you want to check that out. And this is my Atlantis Aquaman. I got two of them, the other is on the other account. The other has all level 70 gears, but it's less optimized. This one is a little bit more optimized, but does not have level 70 gears yet. I'm using a critical attack damage build, and those are the stats at the moment, and I think this is one of the most played characters that I have had so far. So yeah, with all that being said, let's put Atlantis Aquaman to the matrix.
First of all, let's talk about his basic attacks. First subject of our basic attacks is good combo chaining. It means the actual tap 3 times swipe right, tap 3 times swipe right combo. Does he do that well? Is he able to be interrupted by the enemy when he's doing that? No, he's not going to be able to be interrupted by the enemy, and he does that perfectly. And for that, he gets 3 out of 3 points for combo chaining. Can he chain into a tagging? This means that when he does a swipe right, you can tag another character and the other character can continue the combo. Yes, he has one of the best chaining into tagging combos in the entire game. He gets 4 out of 4 points for this one. Are his attacks long range or short range? They are long range, and they are one of the longest range attacks in the entire game. So he gets 2 out of 2 points for that. And the last one will be, is he able to do an infinite combo? No. He's able to combo interrupt some bosses, he's able to chain combo into special tree, but those will be pointed in other places. He's not going to literally be able to do an infinite combo. So this was on the topic of basic attacks. In terms of basic attacks, he gets 9 out of 10 points. The only missing point being in the not being able to do an infinite combo, but that will be missing for most characters anyway. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get to the passive section. Passives in Just Mobile are going to be very valuable, and that's why I give up to 20 points for passives. Let's take a look at his passives, okay? Building Tsunami, he gets damage buffs from using special attacks, and they stack up to 600%. That's pretty interesting, pretty good. Next up will be the Ocean's Retribution. It will drain 3 powers from the enemy and disable their super move for 60 seconds. This is going to be very good because it can disable the super move of the opponents, and it has many uses, and the power bar drain is pretty useful. And yeah, the first ability is going to be must-have in Raids and Steroids. This is basically what this coupled with the next with another thing that we're going to talk about in the future is the thing that makes him a monster in Raids and Steroids. So this is definitely very good. And next up, Waters of Life will make him revive once per battle, gaining health depending on how many bars of power he has. And this is going to be amazing when you're using him in solo fights like Horrific Scarecrow, like Phase 2, or like Black Manta in Steroids and other various places. And this makes you not actually having to worry about putting any defensive stats on him, even if you're going to play him in solo fights, because he will be able to revive once per battle and most times with full health. So this is very good. So taking everything into consideration, taking a look at all those passives, I think this set of passives is going to be worth getting 20 out of 20 points. So yeah, max points for the passives. Let's get into his special attacks. Let's start off with his special one in terms of ranking his abilities. First up, does this special one have any secondary effects? No, it does not have any secondary effects, so he gets 0 out of 3 points for that. Does it have multiple instances of damage? Yes, he gets 1 out of 2 points because there are abilities that have many more multiple instances of damage. Is it short range or long range? It's not the shortest range ability in the game, but it's definitely not long or medium range, so he gets 0 points out of that. But it's not a projectile at the same time, so it can't be really jumped over, so he does not get a decrease point for being a projectile. Does it chain into a combo? No, it does not. He gets 0 out of 1 point for that. Does it have a decent duration? Yes, it does have a decent duration. You can like tag him into a combo, do a special one, and then tag out, though you wouldn't want to do that. Oh, so he gets 1 point for duration and 0 points for the power cast because it's going to be a generic power cast, nothing too out of the ordinary for a special one. So yeah, with all that, Being said, his special 2 is only going to get 2 out of 10 points. This is by far going to be his weakest asset that is at your disposal. With all that being said, let's get into a special 2. Next up, the Shark Summon. Does it have any secondary effects? No, it has no secondary effect. And if you're thinking like, yes, it does increase your attack. No, that's the passive. We already gave the points for the passive. This ability, if you didn't have the passive, would not have any secondary effects. So I did the first one. Next up, does it have multiple instances of damage? Yes. Not many, but 2 is still more than 1, so he'll get 1 out of 2 points for multiple instances of damage. Is it short range or long range? This is long range, like you can use it from any point in the map. And is it a projectile? No, it's not a projectile, and that's good because the AI can't jump over it, so he gets 2 points for being a long range and does not get a point decrease for being a projectile. Next up, does it chain into a combo? No, 0 points for that. Next up, is the power cast point worth it? Yes, I'm going to give 1 point for the power cast because it's on the cheaper side for special 2 to cost 4 bars of power. Not the cheapest, but on the cheaper side. And next up is the duration. Okay, like can you tag into a combo, do this and then tag out? Of course, the duration will also get 1 point. And in total for the special 2 of Atlantis Aquaman, he will get 5 out of 10 points. A mediocre special that, but special that definitely gets boosted by that passive. But yet again, we gave the points for the passive separately. Now let's move on to the special tree. Now getting into the special tree. Let's take a look at it. Does it have a secondary effect? Yes, it does have a secondary effect, and it's most likely the best secondary effect for a special tree in the entire game. It's going to reduce the opponent's current health by 10%, and that's going to really hurt in raids and soul raids when you're fighting against bosses. And that's going to be amazing. It gets 3 out of 3 for the secondary effect. And if you think that this would have value to more points than just 3 in the larger scale of things, I totally agree, but that's okay because the damage this provides will reflect in more points when we come to raids and soul raids sections of the video, so don't worry about that one. Next up, does it have multiple instances of damage? No, it's going to be a hit or miss with a crit on this one. Actually, no, I'm going to give it a point for multiple instances of damage out of those 2, because there's one, nah. Not going to give it. Look, the thing with multiple instances of damage is like if there are multiple instances of damage, you'll get more chances to crit. This has 2 instances of damage, but one of them is going to be the fixed amount of health that it reduces. So it's pointless to give a point for this since the other one will not crit, will be a fixed amount. So 0 points for multiple instances of damage. Next up, is it short range or long range? This is long range. You can cast it from all across the map, though it's not recommended because it's also a projectile and it can be jumped over. So it gets 2 points for being long range, but it gets reduced by 1 point for being a projectile. Does it chain into a combo? Yes, it does. 1 point for that. The duration is going to be okay. You can definitely tag in, use a special tree, tag out. And the power cost is going to be just standard for special tree, so 0 points for that. So overall, this will get a total of 6 out of 10 points. Am I right? Let's take a quick look at this again. Yes, it's 6 out of 10 points. This is going to be an ability that is above average. The 5 is average. Not going to be the best ability in the game, but is going to definitely be maybe the best ability in the game for raids and soul raids. But yet again, that will be reflected further in the video in terms of the points that he will get for damage. So don't worry if I did, if you think I did underestimate that secondary effect, it will come again into play. Next up, we'll talk about Arena and CA. In terms of Arena and CA, first up with Arena, let's take a look at the divisions of this. Is he specifically good for Arena? Not really. He's average in Arena. He gets a 3 out of 5 points for specifically good in Arena. You could argue for even lower, but he's going to be very good in Arena because of the fact that you'll anyways build him for raids and soul raids, and you'll have him built anyway. But if you were to build him specifically for Arena and raids and soul raids did not exist, then he might score lower over here. Next up, is he versatile? Versatile in terms of the teams that he can fight against. Yeah, yet again, he's going to be one of the first characters that you're going to build, and for the most part of the game, he'll be your go-to for fighting difficult teams, and he can pretty much take on anything. He gets 3 out of 4 points. He's not at the level of the multiverse team in terms of how many teams and different teams they can take on. And next up will be does he have arena cheats? Arena cheats are like Sub-Zero freezing the opponent until the end of the fight, Raiden spamming swap back, characters having infinite combos and being able to deal them all throughout the battle. No, he does not have arena cheat, so 0 points for that. So overall he will get a total of 6 out of 10 for arena. A little bit above average. In terms of CA, he will get 2 points for having a heal out of 3, because heals are important in CA. It's not going to be a team-wide heal, but it's going to be a heal for himself when he dies. So that's going to be pretty good. Next up, specifically good for CA, yes, he does have that revive, and at the same time he will be pretty at a pretty decent place in terms of his builds all the time, so he gets 3 out of 4 points for specifically good for CA. Is he good in the defensive team? No, he gets 1 point for this, which is the minimum. He is a wet noodle, because the AI of Atlantis Aquaman will be very easy to handle, and at the same time he will be built as a damage dealer, so you can kill him very fast. So yeah, he gets 6 out of 10 points for CA as well. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get to the section where we talk about rates and soul rates. First up, in terms of rates, we have the versatility section. The versatility will give 0.5 points for each specific place in the normal rates where he can hit. So we have 8 bosses, right? So we got 0.5 points for each, and there's a maximum of 4 points for versatility. And he gets 4 out of 4 points. To a higher or to a lower degree, he can hit in any single place in raids, and he can deal some pretty decent amount of damage, even in the most unfavorable matches for him. He can hit anywhere. He can hit phase 4 with or without a screen arrow. He can hit phase 2. He can hit Horrific Scarecrow. He can hit Captain Cold. He does not care. He hits everywhere. Next up, damage. The damage is going to represent a value between 1 and 6 points. He'll get 5 points. As most good characters will do, the only characters that will get 6 out of 6 points for damage in normal rates will be Heartbreaker, Harley Quinn, and last left the Joker. Those are the only 2 ones that will get 6 out of 6. He's getting a 5 out of 6, just behind them. Next up, in terms of soul rates. First of all, is he in the top 6 teams? Because in the soul rates you can only play 6 teams a day, and if a character is not in the top 6 teams, then you'd have to give up on a better team to play the character. Yes, he is. He gets 4 out of 4 points for that. Does he have an important role in soul rates? Yes, he does indeed have an important role in soul rates, because of the fact that he will have that special tree that reduces the HP of the opponent, and that's going to be very, very strong. Does he deal a huge amount of damage in soul rates? Yes. He is the second, or arguably the third, or the second, depending on how high health the boss is, damage dealer in soul rates, and he'll get 4 out of 4 points for that. So yes, for raids we got a 10 out of 10 here, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get into the conclusion section. Okay, getting back to it, he scored a total of 74 points. I might, maybe 73, I'll calculate it later and I'll put the value on the screen, so if I said 74 and 73 is going to be the value on the screen. But he gets a total of 74 points for the whole review. And the total is of 100 points, but don't worry about it. I have not, this is the first review I do, and I'm not sure how the other characters will score, but I'm telling you for right now, there will be no character that will go above 85 points, I think. I think it's impossible to go above 85 points rating these characters matrix. It's going to be simply impossible, and there will be no character in the entire game that will score 100 of 100, and that 75 points is going to be more than decent. The things that really drag this character down will be his special one and his arena and champions arena performance, but that's okay, because he's not made for that. He's made in raids and soul raids, and he got almost perfect score in raids and perfect score in soul raids, and for that he's going to be a great character. I recommend everybody gets him as a first priority from the League Store. I also have a build guide on him, I'll link down below. So yeah, this was the first review. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it, if you enjoyed it. Check out the build guide if you want to build him yourself. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, dislike it if you dislike it, maybe hit that bell button, join the Discord server in the description, there's a link, and I'll see you in the next one.